House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business.
is that clear?
Welcome to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you here, deep from the swamps of Jersey. Got a great show coming up for you. For those of you who listen to this show, you know that I interview sportsbook operators from around the country. Coming up, I'm going to interview a sportsbook operator that has a very unique way of doing business. It involves peer-to-peer betting where players can use real money or cryptocurrency. The name of the operator is Zensports, and we're going to talk with its co-founder and CEO, Mark Thomas. We're going to find out all about this incredible new sportsbook, which is in the process right now of getting a license in a couple of states. So stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-297-9788. 800-297-9788.
Psst. Yeah, you. Come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
You're listening to House of Cards. Check out our website at houseofcardsradio.com.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com. You know, doing this show and being a gaming attorney, I get to talk to a lot of sports betting operators. However, there's a new company out there that I think will be getting a lot of attention in the sports betting markets across the country. The company is called Zensports, and they're doing something really unique in the sports betting community. And to tell us all about this incredible company, we have the co-founder and CEO of Zensports, Mark Thomas, on the line. Mark, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Dave, for having me. Excited to be here.
Oh, thank you for coming on. I got to tell you, Zensports is an incredible concept. But before we start talking about that, I want to know, how did you become involved in the sports betting world?
Well, we originally started out as a slightly different concept a few years ago. And when the Supreme Court struck down PASPA in May of 2018, I turned to my co-founder and said, hey, we need to pivot into sports betting, and he gave me a little bit of an odd look, but he trusted my judgment there, and we forged into this world. I've been a diehard sports fan for 32 years, into sports betting for 25 years. So I think it was kind of a natural fit for us, given that we were a sports company, technology sports company in the first place, but wanted to do something a little bit bigger and better, and so. Saw that the writing was on the wall in terms of the legalization of it here in the United States. And, we wanted to make a push into it. So here we are.
Tell us a little something about the concept of Zensports, because I love what you're doing overseas and I love the whole idea about it.
Yeah. So the concept of Zensports is that we're trying to be a little bit different than what a traditional sports book would be. A traditional sports book, you come into an app or a website and they offer you a line of bets. Certain odds, and you either have to take them or, you don't accept a bet. And you're going up against the house. You're going up against professional bookmakers that know how to, make book. With Zensports, our focus is a peer-to-peer concept. We do offer a traditional sports book, but the concept of Zensports is that you have the choice to create your own bets, with your own odds and your own terms and your own liquidity if you so choose. And what that does is it really puts people in control of their own destiny. If they want to kind of come in and be passive and treat it like a sports book, they can certainly do so. But if they want more control over, what types of bets that they want to get into, the odds and the terms and all that good stuff, they can essentially almost become the book, if you will. And I think that's really exciting because, in the generation, millennials and Gen Z wanting to, really control their destiny, we fit right into that perfectly. And then we also, while we offer traditional fiat betting, in dollars, we also, use cryptocurrencies as well too. And there's a lot of pain points that solves for as well. So that's a pretty exciting new platform. And, we're excited to be working on it.
I love that whole concept. I love the idea about it. What did you see in the sports betting market that made you feel that Zensports would be very successful?
I think a couple of things. One is if you look at traditional bookmakers, while, I think there's a lot of value that they provide in just the liquidity piece of it, I think that kind of lack of being able to choose your own destiny, when you look at other types of platforms and products in non-gaming, in the non-gaming world, like trading, right? You see Robinhood comes along and makes something very simple and easy and puts, customers in control of their trading and their financial destiny. And if you look at other marketplace businesses, even like Uber and Airbnb, they allow you to really control the process of how you catch a ride, in the case of Uber, or book a place to stay in the case of Airbnb. Why can't that same marketplace concept be applied to sports betting? So that's really, I think, what it comes down to is putting customers in control, giving them choice, and taking just advantage of the technology that exists today, to make that marketplace possible.
I am so intrigued with the peer-to-peer betting. I mean, that's a new concept to a lot of people, especially in the U.S. Can you tell us how that exactly works? Yeah, so the way it works is this, is if you want to come in and create your own bets with your own odds, your own terms, et cetera, we walk you through kind of a simple 7-step flow that takes about 20 seconds or so, where you can choose what league or sport you want to bet on, whether you want to bet on a team or a player, whether you want to do a prop bet or just kind of a straight up money line or point spread bet. And then we allow you the ability to set those odds and to set the terms, like in terms of like point spreads, what those would be and so forth. You also have the ability to just write in your own bet.
So if you want to like, hey, I think LeBron James is going to bank in a 3-pointer in the next 2 minutes, you could do something like that. Or you could even say, hey, I think I'm a Bucs fan, so I'll say the Bucs are going to come out in their black uniforms. You can do pretty much anything, but at the same time, you can do all the standard stuff too. So if you just want to like tease a normal traditional type of bet and make it your own, you can do so. And I think, being able to get in and do something like that in, like I said, about 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds, and make it really easy and don't have to have people think about it or manually write stuff in, that's really the key. And then it gets added to the marketplace after it's created, and then it's acceptable for anybody else to accept, or they could share it with their friends and have their friends accept it. So you could do really, truly kind of like friend to friend, or you could do anonymous peer-to-peer, via the marketplace.
Okay, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. See you on the other side.
Attention seniors with Medicare. This is an important announcement. Did you know you may qualify for a monthly Social Security rebate? Did you know you may qualify for a $0 monthly premium? That's right. You may qualify to get $135 added back to your Social Security check each month. Just call the Medicare benefits line to get your options. It's a free call. You may also qualify for $0 premiums, dental coverage, vision coverage, hearing coverage, and prescription drug coverage. With this type of plan, you don't need Medicare supplement insurance. Call now because you deserve to get the most from your Medicare benefits, including a rebate to your Social Security check each month. Agents are standing by with free information regarding Medicare benefits. It's a free call with no obligation, but it could mean big savings for you. Call the Medicare benefits line now to see if you're eligible for a Social Security rebate.
Call 800-574-6770. 800-574-6770.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. House of Cards is brought to you by PartyPoker.com. Why go to Atlantic City or Pennsylvania? Pay for gas, pay for parking, fight the crowds. You can play the same games online anywhere in the Garden State. Sign up with code EXIT7A and take advantage of Party Poker's new sign-up offer of $25 free, plus a first deposit match up to $600, and start playing poker online today. Start playing and start winning some cash at nj.partypoker.com. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with the co-founder and CEO of Zensports, Mark Thomas. For the people who are betting peer-to-peer, there are certainly some advantages because there's always a question about the fees that go to a centralized bookmaker. Can you tell us a little bit about the benefits for people who bet on Zensports when it's peer-to-peer?
Yeah, so on the fee side of things, we're very transparent, which I think is actually another really big benefit. You're right. When you take a regular bet with a traditional sports book, it's always confusing or opaque what the fees are. There's really not very good transparency when it comes to that.
No.
With Zensports, we simply just charge a marketplace fee on a sliding scale based on a few different factors. It's definitely less than traditional bookmaker and is transparent. It's very clear, hey, this is what the fee is going to be based on the amount that you're betting. And so I think that really resonates with customers again, is just that transparency and clarity as to what they're paying in fees versus what the actual bet amount is. And so separating the two out is, I think that's the future, right? Saying, hey, this is what you're betting, and then over here separately, here's what the fees are.
Another thing about Zensports, and I checked out your website, it was great, Zensports.com, is that you mentioned it before, you have your own currency. How does that work for people who are not familiar with betting like that?
Yeah, so real quickly on cryptocurrencies, I know it's kind of a foreign concept for a lot of folks, but it's gaining steam, which is great.
Yeah.
So if you think about traditional fiat, which is U.S. dollars payments, there's a lot of problems with that, especially in the gambling world. So let's say you were to go into a traditional sports book, whip out your credit card and say, hey, I want to deposit $100. First of all, your bank may just flat out decline the transaction. Say, no, sorry, we're not sending money to a gambling website because we don't approve of that. And even if they do approve it, they're going to charge high fees, both to the operator and to you. It may take a few days for you to get your money in. And on the operator side, there's chargeback fraud, right? The customer may go back to their bank and charge it back. Cryptocurrencies get sort of all of that. So there's no middleman saying yes or no, you can't do that. The fees are basically almost non-existent. They're very, near zero. Settlement times are instant, and there's no chargebacks because all transactions are immutable. So that's crypto in general. And then we've taken that a step further and created our own cryptocurrency token called Sports, which kind of acts like a casino chip. It's probably the best analogy to use. You can buy and sell sports tokens. You can wager with them. We provide incentives like lower betting fees and cashback bonuses and other cool perks and rewards that you can get by betting with our token. And it kind of acts like I said, a casino chip. It acts also like a collectible. You can hold them long term, or you could choose to sell them and exchange in or out of them if you want. So it's just a much smoother way of like getting money in, getting money out, wagering. It's also, I think, more fun as well too than just betting with traditional dollars.
Now, what can people expect to see when they log on to your app? I guess you can get your app through Zensports.com. Which sports are you offering right now?
We offer quite a bit. So we offer all the biggies like NFL, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, college football, college basketball, tennis, golf, MMA. And then we also offer betting on esports. So there's 6 game titles within the esports world that we offer betting on as well too. And I would say the betting is pretty spread across all of those. I mean, we get quite a bit of interest in betting on all those different sports. It's not just on the NFL, for example, or anything like that. I mean, we get quite a bit of betting on esports. We get quite a bit of betting, on tennis. Sorry, I also forgot we have 25 international soccer leagues that we offer betting on too. That's super popular as well. So yeah, we try to offer all the kind of wider range of stuff. We don't currently do anything like horse racing. We may get into that at some point, but yeah, that menu is a nice selection, and most people, really find that to be, sufficient and also diversified.
Now, I've talked to a lot of sportsbook operators, and one of the difficult hurdles that every operator has to go through is the state-by-state licensing process. Now, you're going through that now. Mm-hmm. What states are you applying for a license in right now?
Yeah, so we have applications on file right now in Nevada, Virginia, and Tennessee. We are working on a partnership deal with a brick-and-mortar casino in Colorado as well, too, as we speak.
Great.
But we have not begun the application process for that until that deal is done. It's kind of cool because Virginia and Tennessee are the 2 states that don't require a brick-and-mortar presence to be able to operate in. So we were able to get those applications going in pretty short order. And in Nevada, we signed a deal in the summer to purchase a casino. So that's our brick-and-mortar presence there.
Now, why did you choose those particular states, and what's it like going through the process? And how far along are you in the process with those states?
Sure. So Nevada, as I mentioned, we signed a deal over the summer to purchase a casino there. That in terms of desire was obviously number one on the list because it has the most handle out of all the states. I think they did about $5.3 billion last year in handle, with New Jersey being second. So just from a pure, a big opportunity perspective, we wanted to make sure we were delving into Nevada. And one of our investors actually owns a few casinos in Nevada, so we were able to strike a deal with him to purchase one of those.
Oh, that's nice.
And we started that process in September. It's about a 9-month process in total. So we're looking at probably May, sometime before we get licensed in Nevada. And then Virginia and Tennessee, as I mentioned, were online only. So that was attractive because we didn't have to do any kind of brick and mortar partnership or purchase to go into those states. There was a 2-week window for Virginia that we had to get it in. It was October 15th to October 31st was it. I remember Saturday morning at about 2:30 in the morning on Halloween, getting that application submitted. It was all online, which is great. So we got that in. We are expecting an answer back on that one should be end of January. And then Tennessee, we just submitted about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. And that's about a 3-month process as well. So that one was both paper and thumb drive process. So that one wasn't online. A lot of paperwork. Posted a picture of it on Twitter, and I was glad when that was done because that was a lot.
Zensports overseas has such a unique way of betting, peer-to-peer and your own cryptocurrency. Is what you're going for a license in the U.S., are you including the peer-to-peer betting and the cryptocurrency, or are you going for a traditional sports betting license and maybe down the road you might kind of implement peer-to-peer and your own cryptocurrency?
Great question. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, we do offer a traditional sports book. So we will definitely be getting the traditional sports betting license in the states that we go into. And really the reason is for the next thing I'm about to say, which is while most states are probably going to be okay with the peer-to-peer betting, we don't want that to prevent us from going in if they don't. Okay. And each state is different as to how they look at that. So, for example, there's nothing in Nevada or Virginia that explicitly prevents peer-to-peer. And so we do expect to hopefully get approved for that. Of course, then that becomes a business decision that the regulators have to make. Even if it doesn't explicitly, make it illegal, they still have to say, yes, we're okay with that for other reasons.
Okay, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. See you on the other side. More bets, better odds at PlaySugarHouse.com. Sign up today at PlaySugarHouse.com and don't forget to use our promo code HOUSE to take advantage of their first deposit match up to $250. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-297-9788. 800-297-9788.
Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from House of Cards with your House of Cards gaming report for the week of January 4th, 2021. The MGM Mirage in Las Vegas reduced its operating hours due to the coronavirus. According to a statement from MGM Resorts International, starting January 4th, the hotel, restaurants, and casino will be closed from noon Mondays until noon Thursdays. MGM also stated that these closures should not last past February. A Connecticut man has pled guilty for failing to pay taxes on his poker winnings. Guy Smith of Milford, Connecticut, pled guilty to tax charges, acknowledging that he won over $1 million from poker tournaments in Nevada, New Jersey, Florida, and the Bahamas. Smith could face possible jail time between 20 and 30 months. Smith, a first-time offender, will be sentenced sometime in early 2021. And finally, here's a nice story to start the year. A gambler identified only as Kevin was playing at the Suncoast Casino in Vegas on Christmas Eve. After playing $40 on the Mega Bucks slot machine, he hit the jackpot. That jackpot was worth over $15 million. According to reports, this was Nevada's largest jackpot in 8 years. Now how's that for a Happy New Year? Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HOC Radio.
You're listening to House of Cards.
Where was the house? Where was the House of Cards?
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishottle with you. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with the co-founder and CEO of Zensports, Mark Thomas. Sorry about that. Radio has to do its business, you know. Why don't you continue what you were saying before the break?
And then in Tennessee, we're still kind of working through that to see if we can do that. Our stance is as follows. We're getting the traditional sports betting license, but we are pushing for the peer-to-peer piece if possible, as much as possible, because we feel it's best in the best interest of consumers and in the best interest of customers. And so it's really, we just kind of have to show them why this is, safe, why it's successful, why consumers want it. I mean, one big part of that is we show them that we are still the operator of record. We escrow all the funds when bets are created and accepted. We have a full dispute resolution process in place where we are the arbiter. It's safe is the point. And so showing them that, I think, is critical to getting them comfortable with that. But we do have to get approved for that. So, that's just something we have to push for. And if by some chance a state is not okay with that, while that's unfortunate, we're not going to stop from going in there. We obviously will push forward with the traditional sports betting license.
Talk to me about your marketing strategy. You're certainly going in Tennessee, Virginia, Nevada, and Colorado. You're going against really big operators there. You're going against the FanDuels and the DraftKings and the BetMGMs. How are you standing out apart from those guys? What makes you special? What do you want people to know about Zensports?
Well, I think on the product side, clearly the peer-to-peer piece and the cryptocurrency piece sets us apart. I do think we've also taken a really, because we are, originally a Silicon Valley, traditional tech startup. We recently moved to the LA area, but the point is, we have that in our DNA that we're a tech-first company, whereas some of those competitors that you mentioned are not tech-first companies. And some of them are, but many of them aren't. So I think from just also a technology perspective, when you go beyond the peer-to-peer piece and the cryptocurrency piece, I think we've really spent a lot of time on, the real, key design flow and all that good stuff that is important, the user experience and so forth. It's clean, it's simple. Anybody even that's not familiar with sports betting can get started pretty easily. We walk them through it, all that good stuff. So that's that. And I think we've got some other unique angles too. I mean, for example, and this is actually going back to our roots. Before we got into sports betting, we actually do tournament software. So we've recently started hosting our esports tournaments. We have Twitch integration. We have tournaments that we're hosting, and that's actually been a pretty good driver of signups and customers. Of course, we do all the traditional things like content marketing, SEO, social media, etc. But I think when you combine all the things that we do, both product-wise and marketing-wise, I think it's a really unique offering that I think a lot of consumers are going to be drawn to. Of course, that does require some marketing spend, which we will plan on doing. But I think for a lot of reasons, I think we've got a great chance to win.
Now, as you mentioned, if you're going to expand in other states, a lot of states require a land-based partner. I know you already are in discussions or have a deal already with a land-based partner in a jurisdiction. Do you plan on making more deals like that to grow around the country?
Yeah, exactly. So we've got the one in process in Colorado that I mentioned, so that would take us to 4 states. And then we are in conversations with brick and mortars in other states as well too, 100%. So that has to be the strategy since that's the requirement. So we are, we're not looking to skirt or break the law or anything like that. We want to do everything the legal right way. So that's kind of the next thing up for us is brick and mortar partnerships. We are in process or in talks to start those. Colorado is kind of the most imminent one, but then we're also looking at Indiana, Iowa, West Virginia, and I believe South Dakota. So I mean, we're definitely, because that's just one of the states that just recently legalized sports betting. So we're definitely got the laundry list. Definitely excited to get those conversations going for sure.
Over the last couple of years, one of the areas of sports that has exploded is esports, and even betting on esports has taken off. And you alluded to it. I love the fact that you're involved in esports. Talk more about Zensports and the plans they have for the esports on their platform. Yeah, so we offer esports betting for 6 different game titles. Those game titles are Counter-Strike Go, League of Legends, Dota 2, FIFA, Overwatch, and Rainbow Six Siege.
So those are game titles made by various different publishers. Like those are some of the top 6 game titles that are out there made by Riot Games and so forth. So anyways, there's a variety of tournaments and leagues within those game titles that take place around the world that we offer betting on. And so you could bet on, a European Cup tournament for League of Legends as an example. So that's something that you can bet on within our app. We did recently, as I mentioned, start offering our own esports tournaments within Zensports. And that's something we'd like to offer betting on if a jurisdiction would allow for it. But we haven't really kind of crossed that line yet. Something that could certainly take place. But right now, the esports that we offer betting on are those 6 game titles that are held by, professionally sanctioned tournaments and leagues.
I always joke that, I'm sitting here in New Jersey and we presently have 19 sports books that are all basically the same. I mean, they have similar lines, right, similar odds, similar way of betting, similar promotions. Yep. I mean, Zensports is offering such a unique way of sports betting, and it'd really be a breath of fresh air in a market like New Jersey. I mean, is one of the challenges for Zensports is getting the word out there, how unique you are, especially in a crowded market, especially like you're applying in Nevada and maybe down the road, New Jersey, which I would love. I'd jump on it all as quickly as possible. But is that one of the challenges, getting your name out in such crowded markets like that?
Sure. I'd say to some degree. I mean, we're certainly going up against very well-funded competitors, right? I mean, as you rattled off all those names, they've all got very large market caps and nice war chests to be able to, to grow. And some of them are, title sponsors for the NBA. And I mean, they're just, you think of sports betting, you think of those companies. I do think there's a really, if you look at a lot of startups that have grown massively into the companies they are today, if you look at the Ubers and the Robinhoods that are, they started out as very, very, very tiny startups, and then exploded into these multi-billion-dollar valuations and market caps, it's really because of the word of mouth. That really has to be the primary driver. If the primary driver is big, expensive ads, that's usually a rough road to eventually get to the top. Now, eventually you have to do that to maintain market share. So I understand why those companies do it. But when you're at our stage, when you're much earlier on, it's got to be a word of mouth play. And so for example, in that regard, we have a referral bonuses program where, if we're both in New Jersey and I refer you, and you sign up, you get a higher free play bonus by signing up with my referral code.
Wow.
And then I get a percentage of your betting fees paid. So we really want to incentivize that word of mouth and referral component so that, people are almost acting as our marketing arm for us out there. So we're not having to spend, tens of millions of dollars on billboard ads or whatever it might be.
I know this pandemic has been a very challenging time for the gambling industry, but I've talked to a lot of the new sportsbook operators who said, it was an awful time, but it gave us an opportunity to strengthen our business plan. I mean, while people were betting on darts and table tennis, it gave them the opportunity to perfect their technology and work on their business methods. In your opinion, how has the pandemic affected the sports betting industry, and in particular, Zensports?
Well, I think it's allowed us to focus on the U.S. market. I think without it, I mean, who knows? We might have only continued focusing internationally, which is where we've been operating since March of 2019. But I think it gave us a chance to work on some of those business development deals, to work on that deal to buy the casino in Nevada, to think of the strategy for going into more states. And of course, we have great, amazing software engineers on our team. So we've always continued to build great tech. I mean, we do bi-weekly sprints. So we're churning out new features and stuff every couple of weeks. So that's always a given. But I think on the strategy side, it really allowed us to really go, what is the biggest opportunity here? And I think the international market's nice. I think we could build certainly a nice business on that. But I think especially since we're based here, the really, really big opportunity over the next 5 years is here in the U.S. So why not go after that? I think that's one other thing I'll say too is by being, by having a very distributed team with the pandemic, we've been more efficient too, just purely from a work perspective. So, I'm cautious when I say stuff like this, but from our perspective as a business, I think it's actually really been helpful. Obviously, as a society, it's been a terrible thing. But there are certainly winners and losers in business. You look at Zoom and stuff that crushed it, in this pandemic, whereas of course, other types of technology businesses have not, like in the travel industry. So I think it's definitely helped us all a lot. And I think in the future, I think iGaming and, online and mobile sports betting is just going to continue to take off. So really, while it's certainly not great from a societal perspective, I do think that on the sports betting side of things, I think it really allowed us to shape our focus and hopefully have big things to come.
So what can we look forward to from Zensports in the new year?
Well, so hopefully these licenses get approved. So that's obviously a big thing. That's very important. So, our goal really is actually kind of just that, is actually moving into as many states as possible in 2021. So we're not going to just stop at those 3 states that I mentioned. We would love to be sitting here having this conversation a year from now and be in 20 of the 25 states that have legalized sports betting. So we want to move quickly. So if we get into these first 3 or 4 states in the next 3 to 6 months, then hopefully we can really accelerate that in the second half of 2021 and go from 3 or 4 or 5 states to, like I said, 20 or so. So that's what it is. It's about repeating that process, kind of rinse and repeat, that we've done in these few states, and do them in more states. So that's the plan, and just, continue to delight customers with a next generation, sports betting technology.
Mark, we're running out of time, but can you give out the website for Zensports and how people can download your app?
Yep, absolutely. So it's really, really easy. It's Zensports, all one word, .com. From there, you can click on the links to download either our iOS app or Android app. We are coming out with a mobile web app as well in January. So if you don't want to download an app, you'll be able to use us on the web starting next month, which is great too. And on Twitter, it's at Zensports. We have a Telegram, which is the Zensports. And then I'm personally the word entrepreneur, and then S as in Sam, F as in Frank, from back in my San Francisco days. So entrepreneur SF. I'm on Twitter, and same thing for LinkedIn. So yeah, come check us out.
Mark Thomas, co-founder and CEO of Zensports. Thanks so much for coming on, telling us about this incredible company. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about Zensports in the near future. So please come back on and keep us updated about what's going on with Zensports. All right?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Now that we're home more than ever, we need to feel safe. Call it a sign of the times or the world we now live in. What do you want to keep safe? The people in your life? What do you want to protect? Your possessions, the things that belong to you, the things that you've worked hard for. Wouldn't it be nice to have tested, trusted 24/7 protection? Peace of mind, real protection that's always there for you and your whole family? Well, now you can with one of our state-of-the-art home security systems. Everyone thinks their home is safe until the unexpected happens. Help protect your home and loved ones today with the affordable next generation in home security. To help keep your family and property safe, call 1-800-520-4068 now. Representatives are standing by to assist you. That's 1-800-250-4068. 1-800-520-4068.
You're listening to House of Cards.
The answer is probably. We're finished.
What are the odds? 1 in 100?
I don't do odds. I gave very
You're in
detailed
casinos, sir.
Well, Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. You know, sports betting has become popular in the U.S., and people want to know what's going on in the sports books across this country. So backed by popular demand, executive producer Doug Weishaupt is back with the book report to tell us what's going on in the sports books across the country. Doug, what do you got?
And in this week's book report, we've got a whole bunch of things to talk about. We've got a national record to talk about. We've got state records to talk about. Boy, I keep repeating those things every week because this industry just keeps growing and growing in the United States.
Yeah.
We've got launches, we've got deals, we've got legislation, we've got a whole bunch of things that we're probably not going to get to totally in the time we have for this segment here.
Go to our blog.
Let's start off with some of the numbers from the states reporting their sports betting revenue figures, where we have a bunch of records to talk about.
Okay.
We're going to talk first off with Colorado.
Colorado.
They have a new record state monthly handle.
Okay.
They reported $231 million in handle.
Wow.
9.7% increase from October, and they also reported $18.3 million in revenue, a hold of just under 8%. So they are steadily growing as well.
Good.
Like New Jersey just reported a huge number for their handle. Nevada had a state handle record. A lot of these states are showing records here and there, and Colorado is showing that they are no slouch.
No, Colorado is going to be enormous. I think they're going to do a lot better in the coming months.
And Top Sport bet on, handle-wise, $88.4 million in wagers placed on American Pro Football.
Okay.
NCAA football had $22.2 million. And in third place, and I remember talking about this last month, it's your favorite sport.
Okay, my favorite sport?
Table tennis.
Table tennis is still doing well in Colorado, huh?
Third place.
Wow.
$12.4 million.
What month is this?
This is November.
This is November. Okay.
I never knew November was a big month for table tennis.
Okay, November, the table tennis. All right.
But it's interesting because
I don't get that at all.
It was $12.4 million in November. It was $9.3 million in October. I remember that number because it was such a unique situation that in October they had over $9 million wagered on table tennis, and now they've even beat that number, 12.4.
Yeah, the one thing I can guess about table tennis, it's one of those sports, like soccer, that come from Europe and Asia, and you can bet on them early in the day. Like if you want to bet on something early in the morning, there's table tennis. Yeah, if you have to bet on something early in the morning, there's table tennis or there's soccer. Maybe that's what's going on, but boy, table tennis is
it's also quick, I think.
I don't know.
It's got to be a quick game.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, let's move over into another part of the country and talk about Tennessee, which just launched their sports betting market.
And they did very well from what I hear.
They set a national record.
A national record. All right.
They brought in $131.4 million in handle. That's the record for a first month of operation of any state.
So for a first report,
that was history-making.
So that was a first report. That was the first month, and they broke a national handle record.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
For first month operations.
Congratulations to Tennessee. Wow, what a market that's going to be.
It took New Jersey 4 months to hit that mark. It took Pennsylvania 11.
And Tennessee is one of those interesting states where it's only online, right?
Yep.
No casinos, no retail sports books, only online.
And the previous record was held by Indiana. $35.2 million in their first month of operation.
Wow, they weren't even close. Tennessee,
they blew right by $100 million.
Oh my God!
And they hit the 10% hold.
Okay.
So the legislatively required hold was 10%. They hit approximately 10%. So they did well. It's just incredible, and also $13.2 million in revenue. Again, another record. For first month of operation.
For a first month reporting,
yes.
That's a national record too?
Yes.
All right.
That's a historical record in the United States.
Wow. Boy.
So I don't know why that was so high. I mean, you can't. You can't say it was the sports lockdown in that state that did it because they just launched.
For me, it was just a fascinating state. Like I said, it's only online. You don't have to go anywhere to place a bet or do anything. Sit home, put it on your phone or your tablet or your computer and just have fun betting.
But who knew Tennessee would have such a sports betting audience?
Good for them.
I mean, that's a great market right there. And they may actually start rivaling Jersey and Nevada and even Colorado right off the bat here, the way they're moving. Although I kind of want to see what happens in January, February when NFL stops for a little while anyway.
Well, I even asked. I forgot who I asked. I'm not sure if I asked a reporter or I asked one of the sportsbook providers that, I wonder if Tennessee will do this in the opposite way. They're doing very well with online sports betting. You think this will spark them to actually build retail sports books in the state? I'm curious to see how much sports betting becomes such a great thing in Tennessee that they're actually consider doing something like that.
Well, the one thing I would say to that is you got to look at their tourism numbers first. Sure. I mean, if they get a lot of tourists, I would think that would spur the casino industry, the land-based casino industry, if they have a huge tourism market. I don't know how big their tourism market is.
Well, something right outside of Nashville would be absolutely amazing. So,
So is there like the Graceland Casino?
Yeah, right.
We have also Nevada, not Nevada, New Hampshire to talk about.
How do you mix those two states up?
What
the hell were you thinking?
Because we were just talking real casinos. New Hampshire doesn't really have too much. They have those charity-based places. They have a new state revenue record.
All right.
$4.8 million on $46.5 million in handle.
Wow, good.
Hold of 10.3%, $2.3 million in taxes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that's only DraftKings, right?
Only DraftKings.
That's only DraftKings.
Can't be anybody else.
Okay. I mean, is anyone even thinking of going to New Hampshire? Or I'm sure they would want to.
It's DraftKings is mobile only in New Hampshire.
Okay.
I'm sure if they ever pass...
They do have some retail ones, right?
Well, they're DraftKings.
Yeah.
But if they ever get real casinos up there, maybe that changes.
Okay.
So we'll see what's going on. And Pennsylvania also reported their numbers. It was interesting because everybody in November's the numbers for every state in November went up. Pennsylvania didn't.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, they have $491.9 million in November. That's still not a bad number.
No.
$500 million. It's down from October. The only state that went down.
Well, look, Pennsylvania is doing so well for so long with regard to sports betting. Maybe a little slip here or there is not cause for concern, but it's very interesting.
Handle was down.
Okay,
set a state record, a revenue record, $37.4 million in November. So revenue went up, handle went down. Now, a lot of people are figuring this may have something to do with the amount of promos and credit offers and bonuses that are being given out. And who knows? I mean, it's just a weird situation that Pennsylvania was the only state that had their handle go down when everybody else's went up by a lot.
I wonder how crappy the Eagles are doing. And,
Pittsburgh was 11-0.
I know Pittsburgh was doing fine at that time in November. They just started their slide here in December, but I'm curious. I wonder how that ties in, if it ties in. Who knows?
I don't know. It's just a weird situation. People are monitoring it to see what is really happening there. I'm
just trying to find excuses.
I just like the fact that their revenue is going up, which is nice to see.
Yeah,
because that's what this is all for, to keep the state going and everything else, and it's really good to see that. Speaking of Pennsylvania, we're going to be talking about 2 new sportsbooks launched.
Okay.
Online sportsbooks. We know BetMGM launched.
Sure.
Within a week after that, we have Betfred.
Great.
Betfred has launched in Pennsylvania.
Now they have a retail book too
in Wind Creek.
Yeah.
Wind Creek, Bethlehem. It used to be the Bethlehem Sands.
Yeah, but now it's Wind Creek, Bethlehem, and they have a retail sports book there.
Right.
All right.
So Pennsylvania now has 12 online sports books.
Okay.
It's the third for Betfred online sportsbook wise. They have 2. They have Colorado and Iowa going.
Okay.
So there's the third state for Betfred. 12 online sportsbooks in Pennsylvania overall. Staying in Pennsylvania, we have a deal between BetMGM and the Sixers.
Okay.
It's always interesting to see these deals and what they're going to be doing. This one, has the same typical deal, parts of marks and logos and data and all that stuff,
promos and things like that,
and in arena signage, all that stuff, radio broadcasts, all that kind of stuff. This one tacked on making the Borgata Hotel in Atlantic City, Borgata Hotel Casino in Atlantic City, the official away game host of the Philadelphia 76ers.
So I'm assuming at the Borgata, the actual physical place, when the 76ers are playing an away game, they're going to have something special at their sportsbook, right?
They will be doing parties.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
I'm assuming when this is all safe.
Yeah, when it's safe to do so. They're going to be, feature events on site. Borgata will also host a co-branded season ticket member event in the future featuring casino games.
All right.
They're going to have 76er Hall of Famers and all that, so former players show up.
Wow.
Autographed memorabilia raffles. So they're going to be, going all out for the fans of the 76ers when they're not at home.
I got to tell you, I like Borgata's setup for their sportsbook. I mean, it doesn't have that stadium seating kind of, thing to it that a lot of sportsbooks have. They went with the sports bar model. You have the bar in the middle of the floor. You have a whole lot of tables, and it's a restaurant. It's a sports bar, but lots of TVs and a couple windows where you can place your bets.
Well, again, it's Borgata.
Yeah, I love Borgata. I can't wait to go back. Boy, wait the way all this crazy stuff is over. I can't wait to get back to Borgata.
Staying in Atlantic City.
Oh, staying in Atlantic City.
We have Bally's and FanDuel launching FanDuel's very first sportsbook in Atlantic City, called oddly enough, FanDuel Sportsbook at Bally's Atlantic City Hotel and Casino.
I'm trying to picture where they're going to put this, or where
It's a temporary book.
It's a temporary book right now. So where is this temporary book?
It's right by the entrance to the boardwalk.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's that Wild West themed room kind of thing. So, that's right attached to the boardwalk. Yeah. Great.
Remember when Tropicana had their temporary sportsbook? It was right next to Chickies and Pete's, the entrance of the boardwalk.
Yeah.
It's going to be something similar to that.
Okay.
So they have their very first retail sportsbook in Atlantic City. Remember, they have the one up in the Meadowlands, North Jersey.
Sure.
So they are now in two places, retail-wise as well as everywhere online in the state of New Jersey.
Well, that'll do it for us this week on House of Cards. If you're going to one of the newly reopened casinos, poker rooms, or sportsbooks, please be safe. We'll see you next time on House of Cards.
Tried to spiral a chain across the desert plain. You build a house of cards around a lover's